We live in a world where science has granted us the ability to understand the mechanics of nature in ways that earlier generations could not have imagined. To the minute particles that form atoms, to the farthest galaxies that we can observe, science continually uncovers the underlying principles that make our universe work. But there's one crucial question that often gets overlooked in understanding the pursuit of these principles. Why does the universe function in such an ordered way? And even more importantly, question, does this order point to an intelligent designer? They argue that science itself points to the existence of God is both philosophically rigorous and scientifically grounded. The argument, I meant to say, not argue. Argument. Now I want to talk about the Watchmaker argument, which is also known as the argument from design. This argument was famously popularized by the philosopher William Paley in the 18th century. Basically, this argument is, let's say you're walking on the beach, right? And you see a watch. Maybe it's a gold, maybe it's a silver watch, whatever. You see a watch, it's buried, and you pick it up. And you can see that it's still in perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with the watch. It still works perfectly. Now, most people would think, this is kind of like a rock, right? You know how it's just like, it's been here, right? But we all know that the watch was created by someone else. The watch didn't just appear there just out of nowhere, right? Not out of thin air. So basically, this complexity and purpose must be the result of an intelligent watchmaker who designed it. Because the watch would not just spawn there on its own, right? It's impossible. Paley argued that in the same way, when we look at the world around us, we see similar complexity and order. We see natural systems, the human eye, right? Your human eye, the planet orbiting the sun, the laws of physics, right? That function is incredible, precise ways, as if they were designed by a specific purpose in mind. Therefore, just as we would assume that a watch designer should have also assumed that the universe, with this intrinsic design and order, has a designer, and that designer, for many, is God. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's try to break this argument down because it probably sounds just out of place right now. Over the centuries, science has uncovered laws that govern the natural world, right? We've discovered the laws of gravity, the laws of motion, the laws of thermodynamics, and so many other principles that form the foundation of the physical universe. We found that the cosmos is governed by laws that are not random or chaotic, but follow a consistent and predictable order. This is a crucial point. Science is the study of order in nature. When scientists observe natural phenomena, they don't expect to see random occurrences. Instead, they expect to see patterns and laws that govern behavior of matter, energy, and life. These patterns are everywhere in the precise movement of the planets. The inadequacy, I think that's how you say it, the biological systems is like the human body, right? And the mathematical precision of the universe itself, if that makes sense, right? From the orbits of planets to the structure of atoms, the universe operates according to a set of rules that are stable, predictable, and orderly, right? This order in the universe is perhaps one of the most sufficient findings of modern science. But here's the essential question. Where does this order come from? Does it come from God? Does it come from science? Where does it come from? Science has shown us that the universe is remarkably fine-tuned for life, right? The laws of physics and the constants of nature are precisely set in such a way that life we know it, is not possible, but it thrives. How? This brings us to a crucial philosophical point. Order implies design. When we find something that is ordered, that is something that operates in a consistent, predictable, and purposeful way, we naturally assume that it had a designer. Just like the Watchman's argument, the watch had a designer, right? It can't just naturally just appear out of nowhere. It had a designer. This isn't a leap of logic that most people might think it is. It's a natural inference. Based on our everyday experience, when we see a building, a painting, or a machine, we automatically assume that these things, yes, were designed by intelligent being. The more complex and ordered something is, the more obvious it becomes. It must have been created with intention. The human brain, for example, is one of the most complex systems known to science, right? It contains approximately 86 billion neurons. 86 billion. That forms an incredible intricate network. Allows us to think, learn, make decisions. Your brain is so complicated to understand, right? Do you think that just naturally happened? You don't think that was designed? Well, basically, if we look at the brain or the DNA, molecules, or at any high complex systems, something is more obvious. It becomes that it must have been created with intention. Your brain has 86 billion neurons. You really don't think that was created by someone higher than us? A god? I mean, our human body is so complex. Our brain is complex. Science doesn't just stop at discovering patterns. No. It actively tries to understand and explain these patterns to uncover laws behind them. But laws doesn't exist by themselves. Laws are always the product of a mind that enables them. This is both true in human systems, like creating laws in society and in the natural world, right? When we find that the universe follows such a precise, predictable laws, we are naturally led to conclusions that those laws were designed by an intelligent mind. That mind, my friend, is God. It has to be, right? One of the most striking examples of design in the universe comes from the concept of fine-tuning. If you study the physical constants, right, of the universe, things like the strengths of gravity, the mass of the electron, and fine structure constants, I think that's how you say it, you'll find that these values are remarkably specific. And if any of these constants were even slightly different, life as we know it would be impossible. It would be impossible. For instance, if force of gravity were slightly stronger, stars would burn out too quickly for life to evolve, right? If it were slightly weaker, stars wouldn't form at all. The probability of these constants occurring by chance is so astronomically low that it seems virtually impossible for them to have arisen, right, without some form of design. This is known as the fine-tuning argument. The fact that the universe is so precisely tuned to support life points to the existence of a designer. The order of the cosmos is physical. Constants, laws, and structures seems too perfectly aligned to be results of random chance. Another scientific concept, the idea of intellectual design, is irreducible complexity. Hopefully I'm saying that right. The idea is championed by proponents of the intelligent design movement and refers to the idea that certain biological systems are so complex that they could not have it involved gradually over time. If even one part of these systems were missing or altered, they wouldn't function at all. The bacteria flagellum, I think that's how you say it. Correct me if I'm wrong. For example, is a highly complex molecular motor that allows bacteria to swim. It consists of many different parts that must all work together in a precise way in harmony. If any one part of this motor were missing, the entire system would be useless. The human eye is another example of the irreducible complexity, right? It is a highly sophisticated organ with multiple interdependence, right? Paths that allow it to function. For the system to involve, each part would have to appear to be perfected all at once, which seems highly unlikely according to the theory of gradual evolution. The presence of such a complex system suggests that they were designed rather than arisen by random processes. The God hypothesis, the one we've all been waiting for. If we accept that order and complexity points to design, we are left with the question, who designed it, right? The most plausible answer for many is that the universe design is the product of an intelligent mind, God, right? The very order that science uncovers in the universe, the laws of physics, the fine-tuning of cosmic, the irreducible complexity of biological systems all suggest that the presence of an intelligent designer. Many scientists and many philosophers and thinkers throughout history have posited that the existence of the order in the universe provides of existence of God existence. From Isaac Newton to Albert Einstein, many have pointed to that the order and harmony of cosmos as evidence of a divine creator. The more we discover through science, the more we see that the universe operates with a remarkable precision that suggests it was designed by an intelligent mind. So basically, God exists. The Watchmaker Argument kind of explains it, saying how there's a watch at the beach and you pick it up and it's not damaged and it's still in great condition. Someone had to design it. Just like our brains, our body is all complex. Remember I said it, 186 billion neurons in our brain. That was designed by someone higher than us. The person who is the intelligent designer is God. The human body is just too complex to just happen out of nowhere. Just like the watch designer, that watch is really hard to design. Just like if you turn on a fan, the person who designed the fan to turn on when you turn on the button, it's not like a rock. It's not like an object like a rock that just kind of just sits there and not designed. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe. I might have messed up on a couple things. Apologize, my pronunciation. Well, I guess it's only 10, but you get the point. It feels like it's 2. I feel like I've got no sleep. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe. If you want to see more videos about God, maybe I'll start reading more about God so I can understand it better. Hey, I don't mind. I would like to do that. I like Alex O'Connor, and I watch him a lot, so that I wouldn't mind, switching my channel up a little bit. But ignore the background if you did hear background. I have this right here, globe. So you might have heard that going off the entire time. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below what do you want to see next, and I hope you all have a great night. And let's get on some Marvel Rivals.